Well, good morning everybody, and welcome to a Sunday morning show. Bags packed for yet another adventurous week on the channel. Heading up to San Martin's Golf Club today, meeting up with Ben Emerson. I've kind of booked myself in for a little lesson with him. Just want to talk to him a little bit about my hands and how they work in the golf swing.
There's one position that I can never ever get myself into, which is what I call the full extension through the ball. So when you see players from this visual on, you see a lot of players, certainly, well, all the top players. My brother Paul is another one that would be in that position as well, where they get a full extension and you see this right arm coming straight through and then the club following straight through as well. Yeah. Mine always ends up in this position, and I know players like McIlroy get into that position as well. So that's point number one.
Also going to get Paul booked in with him to get him onto the K-Vest and see how he gets on, see if he's losing any power in his game.
The order that they're in is actually quite nice. Like I'm seeing a nice sort of deceleration sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, which is really nice. But actually, the separation between your upper body and your lower body, there isn't any.
Because I think Paul does lose a little bit of power, but I'd be interested to know where it all comes from or doesn't come from. And then we're going to be going out on the golf course with those boys. We're going to be playing a match, me and Paul versus Ben and Mike Brown. Now, you've seen Mike Brown on the channel before, so I'll give you a little bit of an insight into him as well as we get on through that video. Now, some interesting news has come out this week. So the hype this week, it's all about this merger. PGA Tour, DP World Tour, and PIF. Only just found out about it this morning before heading up to San Martin's. So this show, we're going to be getting some opinions on this one. I'm certainly going to speak to Paul about it. Going to go through, as the week goes on, should we say, I'm sure things will develop and things will change and more information will come out, but I do want to talk about it a little bit in this show. Now, Sunday morning show brought to you in association with Golfing Days. You will see on the ticker bar as we go through this video some of the upcoming events that they've got going on, not just a travel company, but run events as well. So have a little look at the ticker bar, make sure you keep an eye on what Golfing Days have to offer. But let's jump in the van, let's get going up to San Martin's.
Turn, it's got to turn right, Oh, is that in? Is that in? It's in, yay!
Day 2 of the Sunday morning show. Chart Hills. Now, I'm trying to think when I was last at Chart Hills. Chart Hills used to host European Tour School qualifying. Certainly stage 1, and then you'd venture off to, if you got through that stage, you then venture off to probably Spain. And I caddied for Paul at Tour School here. I remember coming here, and I'll probably say this again in the vlog when we're actually out there on the golf course, but I remember coming here going, wow, what a golf course. This is absolutely fantastic. It kind of almost like my first experience of a tour setup golf course in the UK. I'd experienced it over in America in my college days, but never really experienced it setting up like a tour venue here in the UK. And Chart Hills, never knew it, never even heard of Chart Hills. Up here in Kent, or down here in Kent, wherever you're watching this from, or flying over here. It's not been on the radar for some time, but it's been on my radar for a long time to want to get back up here and actually play it for myself. And today's that day. We're getting out onto the golf course to test it out. Myself and my brother Paul, who is eagerly warming up, ready for this brotherly match. We're going to do a little break pass series today, Paul, aren't we? Chart Hills, what's your... I mean, it was very different for you because you played it. I was just caddying for you, but what was your take on the course?
Bunkers. I mean, you used to rake bunkers. What's your thought of the hand rake that bunker there? Yeah. What's that taking you? That's half a day, isn't it? If not more.
No, it's an hour.
An hour?
Maybe 45 minminutes.
Oh yeah, you want the greenkeepers to comment, don't you?
Well, how long does that take to hand rake? You know, the machine rake's going to take. I think that's half. I think it's half a day's work. That with a half a day. Every bit. I mean, are you just sort of you raking the whole?
Us all money, you know.
Are you raking the whole bunk, or are you just
Leaning
looking?
and chatting to all the members of the Skull Bath.
Designed by Sir Nick Faldo.
Yeah, I think it was his first golf course he designed. Is that
Was it
right?
really?
Potentially, yeah. So I heard.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lovely golf course. It was a long time ago now when I played it, but
Yeah.
I do have good memories from playing here.
Did
It's
you
really
did you
nice.
get through here?
No.
Did you not? No.
No.
I couldn't remember if you'd actually got through when we did. I don't think you were too far away.
I think I was still an amateur, so I'm going to use that.
Oh,
as
were you?
my
Okay, so it was more of an
learning experience.
love it, yeah. Right, today out on the golf course, going to give you a bit of an insight into what this golf course has to offer. Obviously, the vlog for this will be coming out very soon. So here's a little bit of drone footage. There's a few shots of Paul and I at Chart Hills. Let's get out there, and then after that, we're going to start talking about. We're going to get deep into this new merge. That's all the talk of this week. Do love a good halfway hut. Chart Hills halfway hut is the clubhouse. 9th green, 10th tee. Paul and I having a hot dog. What is it? Sausage roll. Mine's a chilli one. Paul's got the plain one. Oh, that is the chilli one. Yeah. Paul's got the chilli one. I've got the plain one now. Can't believe you got his sausage roll wrong. One job, you know. One job. How was your chilli sausage roll?
Gone, yeah.
Gone. You've had a bit of a
Very
sweat
nice.
on.
Oh,
as
one
you've
job
been,
did a great job. He did.
One job. So when you turn up here at Chart Hills, you'll see him, and he's happy to accept one job. So give me your feedback then. What's your feeling? I know we're only a day or so into the merge, and I've not heard any updates on Twitter as we've been out on the golf course. But
So as it stands, they've released a statement, haven't they, saying that there's going to be a merger in place between the DP World Tour, the PGA Tour, and Live, which is actually known by a PIF, is it? The fund?
yeah, investments.
And I think all the players have started showing their disgust at it. I think the PGA Tour players have said that. I think the Live players seem very happy about it. I think the PGA Tour commissioner, is in trouble with what's happened because he's been very anti-Live. He's been kind of mudslinging the players that went over to Live. He's been obviously using the Saudi, where the money's come from Saudi, and that money shouldn't be used because of the ethics of what goes on in Saudi Arabia, which just to me sounds a little bit hypocritical if you're then going to merge with that fund that the money is coming from Saudi Arabia. So everything he's said in the past, you know, he needs to be accountable for now because he's kind of joined forces with what he was criticising before in the past. So we don't know where it's going to go from here up at this point. We might know more when this comes out, but it could go either way. It could be a complete one tour, you know, and all the big guys playing in one place, you know, one tournament all the way around the world. Who knows at this point, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it kind of pans out.
Oh, my word. That was a long day. There's only one coffee to be had when travelling, and we are now travelling back. We've had our game at Chart Hills. 2 successful days. Yeah. Paul's now driving. I've done the first stint. Paul's now taking over on the next stint. But next thing I wanted to... Oh, my throat is gone. Absolutely gone. Too much talking, too much shouting. I don't know. Moving on with the merge stuff. We said we wanted to talk about it, but Hendriksen, was he actually stripped?
I think he was, yeah.
So he was actually stripped of his...
You might be wrong on that, but my...
Of his captaincy.
Was that he was stripped. He didn't resign it. I'm pretty sure he was taken off. Could be wrong with that, but we'll go with that, shall we?
Yeah. So what's your take on that now then, based on the fact that again, we don't know the full ins and outs at this point as we're filming this part, but where do you think that stands now if the players are allowed to, let's say, play in the Ryder Cup and all of that side of things?
I believe, haven't they now allowed PGA Tour live players to play on PGA Tour and DP World Tour and ask for their memberships back? That's the case, isn't it?
I think so.
So if that's the case, you can't go taking captaincy off somebody for that reason and then not reinstate them, I believe. Like, as much as I want Luke Donald to do it, I think he'd be a great captain. I think what's happened to Henrik has been pretty poor. Certainly now with what's happened recently, I think he should really be reinstated. I mean, that's going to create carnage, but I think he's got a case for being reinstated, I think.
So one thing I want to add when it comes to the difference, let's say, between the US team and the way in which the US team, who runs the US team? Well, the US team is run by the PGA of America.
Yeah.
It's not run by the PGA Tour, it's run by the PGA of America. So the PGA of America set out these guidelines as to exactly what the qualification process is, whereas it used to be run by the PGA in the UK, but that was whether bought out or whatever happened, but basically it's now run by the European Tour, the DP World Tour. So they have kind of more authority over their players of who plays in their Ryder Cup compared to what the PGA Tour have, I believe, over their Ryder Cup. Are you aware of that?
I'm not sure. I know that there's 4 interested parties, isn't there, in the Ryder Cup, 2 on the American side, 2 on the Europe side. I don't know how the splits work on that, so it's kind of news to me what you're saying. But yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be a DP World Tour decision. Would that be the case, you think?
Pretty sure it is. I may be wrong. Comments down below, let me know what you think. I don't know if that's the case. I'm pretty sure that is the case with regards to the Ryder Cup, certainly from a European point of view. So, tip of this week, talking about the grip and how important it is to just double check your grip every now and then, because for someone like me who plays a little bit, I've actually fallen into that little trap as well.
Right.
Well, whilst you're here, let's just quickly grab you. I was trying to give everyone a little tip on the grip for a moment there, but whilst I've got you,
Apologies.
give me your feeling on this new merge.
Okay.
Where are we at right now from your point of view?
Right, so dismissing all the issues with where the money comes from, the origins of the Live Tour, and I know they're trying to distance themselves from the fact saying it's not Live, it's a Saudi-backed based group. For me, the best thing about it is that we're going to now get the best players in the world all competing on the same field as such, rather than having loads of divisions that everyone's together. I only watch major championships generally. I might catch the odd DP World Tour event, a few holes, but I watch the majors religiously, and I want to see the best players in the world all competing on the same field.
And I really like that, and I think out of all of this, if that's what happens, then it's a win for men's professional golf, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not sure how it's going to actually work. Like, I don't know the repercussions, how
You mean you weren't in the players' meeting?
No,
you weren't in it?
No, just missed on that one. But I don't know how they're going to actually put the logistics together and how it's all going to operate, how it's going to work. I mean, that's interesting enough as another counter story, I guess. But be interesting to see the developments of golf over the next year, 18 months, 2 years moving forward, and how it affects the world scene.
Absolutely. On another world scene, I did hear that there was a little muting of a potential what do they call it?
Don't know where you're going.
Potential collaboration.
Potentially. I mean, your people are speaking to my people. Basically, we're chatting.
There's a lot of people involved here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people talking to a lot of different people, and there's a talk.
Yeah. Well, a bit.
Quite loud.
Yeah.
Well, he just interrupted our backswing there, didn't he? There's a talk of doing a little collab, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that the 3 biggest channels at Churston Golf Club all come
together as one. Lee Whittaker in the middle of that as well, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
Some exciting plans, I'd say.
Good to see you on the Sunday morning show again, Bernie.
Nice to be back.
Good to see you. So back to the grip. Great to see Bernie, but just want to double check your gloves. Now, I've got my glove here, and you can see here that I have kind of worn this one a few times, but can you see this little wear area? On other gloves, I've actually got a little, like, not a hole, but just a little wear on the actual glove itself. I want you to double check that, because you may be someone like me who has been gripping the club a little bit too much in the palm, and which has been causing me a few issues, and that's what came out of the lesson that I did with Ben Emerson this week, talking about where the club is and how I get my hands into the right position. So just a little check for you, just to double check that you've got your grip in the right place. I want you to get the sense of just getting that back part of the grip into the fingers. So what you're going to do is get this palm just to sit on top of the actual club, and then when you look down you should be able to see just these 2 knuckles here, and then this sort of V part of the right hand just sits nicely onto the top of that thumb there, whether you're an interlocker or an overlapper. I'm more of an interlocker, but just double check that you've got that grip in the right place, and also double check you haven't got any holes in your glove. Just something simple for you to have a little think about, especially with the season just kicking off. I think ultimately everybody wants professional men's golf at the top elite level to be united. However, for me, and I've said this before, when it came to the Live Tour, I wanted to see some of the best players in the world travel the world. I wanted to see these players not just in America. As much as I love America and I love what the PGA Tour do and all the events that they put on, I wanted to see these best players around the world, which I thought the Live Tour would be able to create that. However, what makes me angry about all of this is how some of the players on the PGA Tour, some of the top players on the PGA Tour, and some of the people that run the PGA Tour said some pretty nasty things. They used people when it came to getting their own way, using, historic things that have gone on in the past, using human rights, morals, all of those things to kind of move the needle in their direction to get their own way, and all the time in the background been trying to come up with a plan that would secure the future for their own pockets. But I'd like to hear what you think. Has this announcement just made the game of golf a little bit hotter in the spotlight? Down there in the comments, what do you think? Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again on the next show.